Good morning, Norcal Karters. This is Jason, and it's October 20th. So I'm a couple days behind on this particular podcast because we have a lot to cover. This past weekend, we had the IKF Grand Nationals at Prairie City, and what a great event! It was. The pits were filled. There's a lot of good racing action going on. A lot of teams came out to support the event. And again, a lot of good racing. Very minimal issues on the track, which was nice to see. The Duffies were getting handed out. The Screaming Eagles were getting handled out. Donald and his crew did an absolutely fantastic job. And he should be very proud of his group of workers that put that show on. But it was a lot of fun. I was out there doing the announcing. Also, Barry Barnwell, he was helping me out with the announcing with the four-stroke stuff. He did a great job. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the IKF Grand Nationals in this podcast because we have a lot to cover. But we did live podcast all the main events. So if you go to norcalkarters.com, click on the podcast link, you can listen to all the main events. And each main event is a separate episode, so keep that in mind. They're just not all playing on one episode. So all the classes were broken up into separate episodes. So that way, when I go back in, I'll add the descriptions and results and things like that as I have time. But man, it was just such a cool event. And again, if you missed out on it, or if you want to relive the memories, or you weren't even aware we were podcasting, go check it out. So norcalkarters.com, click on the podcast link, or go to your menu and drop down if you're on a mobile device. And please like and subscribe to our podcast notifications, and you will be notified when we go live. So this weekend, I will be at Sonoma for 2 days for their season finale, and I do plan on doing some live podcasting from there as well. So again, like and subscribe to the podcast. You can go to norcalkarters.com, click on the actual podcast player, and again, sign up for notifications, and then you'll be notified when we go live. And we're also at Sonoma. We will be doing live YouTube. So the main events will be live YouTube at Sonoma. And honestly, it should be exciting. There's supposed to be rain. So I know what everyone's kind of thinking. It's like, rain, I got to get new rain tires. But whatever excuse it is that's keeping you from racing, just fill in the blank. It doesn't really matter. But just ask yourself, if you're a racing fan that race and you watch racing in the rain, can you think of some just memorable moments as you're watching? A couple memorable moments for me come to mind with the Formula One stuff. And some of the rain racing is just the best racing action out there. And being that we're going to be able to live stream the YouTube stuff, there's going to be action. So ask yourself, one, do you want to be on YouTube? Do you want to kind of have a forever recorded moment of your karting career that's on YouTube that you can share with friends and family? Or maybe you want to just see how everything looks in the rain, and you want to be out there drifting around and seeing the big rooster tails fly off the tires. So yeah, that's it. So it's going to be a rain race at Sonoma, most likely this weekend. So I kind of segued in that a little too fast. So let me recap. IKF Grand Nationals was last weekend. Again, you can go to norcalkarters.com. You can listen to the podcasts. You can go back, share your comments, share the podcast with your friends if you were a participant at IKF. If you're on the track racing, you didn't hear the announcing, go back and re-listen to it. And then also give us your feedback. I want to hear your feedback. I want to see what you want to listen to as you play back the podcast. I want you go, hey, maybe next time you can incorporate this or you can incorporate that. It's without input, we're kind of going blind. And if you see me at the track, and many of you have done this, where you've pulled, you've seen me at the track and say, oh, I know that voice. And you've said, hey, I like what you're doing here. Or, I want more coverage for this, or I want that. It's like, and keep the input coming. I do listen. I definitely had some input where guys have clearly stated, it's like, dude, you're obviously a shifter guy, but we'd like some more coverage on the four-stroke stuff. So please, I want the feedback, and I will work towards, keeping the listeners happy. That's for sure. And sometimes it's a logistics thing. So being that I'm out at Sonoma for the Rock Sonoma stuff, I've been out there all year doing the announcing. They don't run Briggs and Stratton. So you're not going to get any Briggs and Stratton action from Sonoma Raceway. But you will get Shifter, you will get Tag, you get the Vortex, you get the Minis. That racing does happen. If you're a business or even just a private person and you want more coverage of a certain race event and you want it podcast live, or even you want it recorded or live streamed, reach out to me. Right now, there's a great video crew that if the infrastructure is in place, we can live stream. So reach out to me and we can put together a package for you. And now it won't be free. I mean, I'll be very honest, it won't be free. It needs to be paid for. But if you want that coverage to happen, please let us know. And again, it can be a simple podcast. It could be a photo gallery. It could be live. If you're listening to this, oh yeah, I want that. Well, reach out to me so we can, work together and see if it's feasible. And again, as long as the infrastructure is there, anything's possible. So, I'm a little bit all over the place, but I know we have a lot to cover. So, again, IKF Grand Nationals, everything, the main events were all live podcast on NorcalKarters.com. Go check that out. And again, like and subscribe to the podcast feature that we have on the website. Also, I am working on getting the subscribers for YouTube over 1,000 subscribers. So if you're listening to this on YouTube and you haven't liked or subscribed to the channel yet, please do that right now. And the reason I'm asking you to help me grow the subscriber list is once we go over a certain threshold, it unlocks features for us. It unlocks live features for us, which I think will make it a lot nicer for karters to have, again, another outlet to expose karting to new people, or who knows, maybe your family or friends just aren't able to attend an event, and you want to be able to share it. It's like, well, I need more subscribers to unlock those features. That's how YouTube works. So please go to YouTube, like and subscribe to Norcal Karters. And also go to NorcalKarters.com, click on the podcast link, and subscribe to the podcast. So that way when we go live, you're notified. So some kind of hyping up my stuff that I need to happen. Let's play a quick word from one of our sponsors, Gorilla Barbecue. So give me a few moments to plug a sponsor, and then we will get into the events coming up this week. And after that, I'm going to kind of blast through the events for November because we have Rock Sonoma this weekend. We have CCKRA this weekend. We have Prairie City this weekend. A lot of series are starting to wrap up their season. So I want to give them more attention as we go into the off season. So stay tuned as we bring you this advertisement from Gorilla Barbecue. Norcal Karters is taking this time to thank one of our sponsors, Gorilla Barbecue. They've been featured on the Food Network. And Rich Bakke, the owner of Gorilla Barbecue, has a long history with karting, being the factory track magic mechanic for many years. And he owns and operates the Gorilla Barbecue Caboose out there in Pacifica. It's the big orange caboose. It's very unique. And if it's smoking, they're open. So you got to get there early because when they run out of food, they close. That's it. They just supply and demand. It's always fresh. You can call them at 650-359-RIBS, 650-359-RIBS, and their website, Gorilla Barbecue, gorillabarbecue.com, and you can pick up some spice rub. I love using this on pork ribs and also my tri-tip. It's one of the many go-to spices that I have. So if you love grilling, you know you like to mix it up a little bit. So give this one a shot. You can go to gorillabarbecue.com to buy the spice rub. You can also buy swag, Gorilla Barbecue swag, at gorillabarbecue.com. And thank you to Rich and the Gorilla Barbecue crew for supporting Norcal Karters and local kart racing. So there you have it. Rich Bakke, Gorilla Barbecue, thank you for your support. And as I mentioned in that advertisement, you can pick up swag, you can pick up spices. Actually, now that I say that, right now I have a pork butt on the smoker, so hopefully that turns out good tonight. And guess what rub I used? Gorilla Barbecue. So, yeah, gorillabarbecue.com is our website. And also, speaking of swag, I'm having a hard time getting off the IKF thing. If you want a memorable t-shirt from the IKF Grand Nationals, reach out to Donald Durbin over at PC Karting. Their website is pckarting.com. Their phone number is on that website. But they were selling t-shirts and hats for the IKF event. And so if you're one of those guys or gals that likes to have t-shirts from special events, reach out to Donald and see if he has any shirts left. So, yeah, now let's get into the events. Boom, boom, boom. We briefly talked about Rock Sonoma. I'm going to do a lot of plugs for social stuff right now. So, Rock Sonoma, doubleheader weekend. Friday is practice. Saturday is race number 8. Race number 8 at Sonoma. Race number 9 is on Sunday, so 2 separate events. Both Saturday and Sunday we will be live streaming on YouTube. When I say we, I mean Rock Sonoma. So go to YouTube right now. Type in Rock, R-O-K, Sonoma. When Rock Sonoma pops up, hit subscribe. And what will happen is once we start putting the system together to go live, you'll be notified that Rock Sonoma is going to go live. So we're going to have live racing action on YouTube for the race number 8, race number 9 at Rock Sonoma. And this is going to be their season finale. So this is it. And then a lot of the teams, if not all of the teams that will be there, are going to have to hustle, haul ass, and get back to the shop, get everything prepped and cleaned, etc., for the Vortex race in Vegas. So the Las Vegas Rock, I want to say Rock the Rio, but it's not the Rock. They're not at the Rio this year. They're actually on the Strip. They're doing a parking lot race on the Strip in Las Vegas. So it's Rock Vegas. And that takes place Wednesday, November 3rd through Sunday the 7th. So now, our regular listeners, when I say Rock Sonoma, who am I going to mention as far as a race team that's at all the Rock Sonoma events, that goes to all the Vortex events, that's been going to a lot of the SCUSA events? He had a representation at the IKF Grand Nationals. I give you one guess. GFC Karting. That's right. So GFC Karting will be at the season finale at Rock Sonoma this weekend. And he is also going to be in Las Vegas for Rock Vegas. So GFC Karting, he stepped up and wanted to support Norcal Karters. So we put his race calendar on our calendar. So if you go to norcalkarters.com, click on the calendar or events tab, you'll see Gary Carlton's schedule right there. And you click on his link, it'll take you to his website. So Gary, thank you for your support of Norcal Karters. And to everybody, you know, we got Prairie City Karting. They support Norcal Karters. We have CCKRA, Central California Kart Racing Association. They support Norcal Karters. We have Rock Sonoma. They support Norcal Karters. Without our sponsors, we just can't keep the show going. So we really, really, really appreciate the support. And yeah, so Rock Sonoma. Give me a moment here. Doubleheader weekend. Their website, SanzaruKarting.com to register, or the registration information. SANZARU, Karting with a K, KARTING, SanzaruKarting.com. So, you also need to download the Kart Pass app. So, Sonoma utilizes Kart Pass. If you're going to Las Vegas for the Rock event, they utilize the Kart Pass app. So download the Kart Pass app. Get used to it before you show up to a big race and are kind of lost. And if you're anything like me, I don't do well with change, which is very odd because my personality, I get so distracted that I love new stuff. Like I just like, oh, new, something new, boom, go over there. But when it comes to like procedures, I don't like new procedures. So before you get down to Vegas and you can't figure your way out through the Kart Pass app, download it now. And that's how Rock Sonoma signs their drivers up. That's how you get your wristbands, pit passes, etc. for Rock Sonoma. And it's going to be a rain event, most likely at Rock Sonoma this weekend. So again, we are streaming live on YouTube. And can't you just picture yourself right now? I mean, I can picture myself going through a corner, opposite lock, carts drifting around the corner, and big old rooster tail spraying off the tires, and then grabbing a gear. I could just like picture myself, and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, that would be such a fun video to share with my friends and family, or post on my social accounts, like, oh, look what I did this weekend. So don't let the rain scare you off. It's Northern California drivers, we need more rain practice. So, and have any of you seen that video of Gary Carlton? There's a couple of them out there, but there's one in particular I'm thinking of. It's at Sonoma. I think he's in a Rotax cart. He's going down the straightaway in the rain, and he just flips it and just starts doing donuts down the straightaway. Grabs control, points it straight, and takes off. I mean, it's in the rain. It was such a cool video. So, are you kind of getting the general theme of what I'm trying to, hype you up for? I'm trying to hype you up to go racing in the rain. I love racing in the rain. I hate practicing in the rain, but I love racing in it. I mean, it's such a different experience. And if you're going to national events and you don't know how to race in the rain, at some point that is going to catch you off guard and you're going to be screwed. So if you've never raced in the rain, you always thought it would be fun, go race in the rain. And if you're looking for rain tires, let me know. I have 3 or 4 used sets available. Like I said, I'll be up there Saturday, Sunday. But it's so much fun to race in the rain. And the only reason I don't like driving and practicing in the rain is I don't like to get cold. That's really the only reason. I don't mind the kart prep. I don't mind the getting wet. I mean, if it was Hawaii and it was like 78 degrees in the rain, that'd be ideal because then you don't get cold. But I just don't like the cold. But racing in the rain is so much fun. Well, since I have a podcast, let me talk about myself for a second. Years ago, in Kerman at the kart track, one of my first rain experiences is an IKF Region 11 race. And I remember it very vividly because it started to rain down there. And me being me, I knew everything. So it's like, all right, I got this. I'm good. Like, I know everything. I know everything until I realize I don't know everything. But down there, I knew everything. I knew how to set the kart up. I knew how to race in the rain. I knew how to just go balls out. I was going to go in the rain. And I remember it again so vividly because we're going down the straightaway. And when I say we, I'm running in the 80 shifter class. And I go blowing by Benny Moon on the outside. And he looks over like, what are you doing? And I'm like looking at him going, dude, you need to let those little boys drop a little bit. We're in the rain. Let's go all out. And I'm just flying down the straightaway, grabbing gears. If that gearbox had 12 gears, I would have grabbed all 12 of them. And so I'm getting ready to set up for the corner. I get on the brakes, turn the wheel, guess what? Nothing happens. I go straight into the barriers. And it's like, man, that sucks. And as I look over, I see Benny Moon making the corner. It was a left-hand corner going into turn 1. And I see his kart's going to the left, and he's just looking at me to the right and shaking his head. And he made the corner. I blew by the corner, went into the bales. And at the end of the heat, we were in the pits, and he goes, what were you thinking? And I go, Benny, I was going flat out. And he goes, well, that was obvious. He goes, you didn't even stop for the corner. It's like, and I told him, I go, no, I tried to, but the kart, apparently, when you have brakes and you have tires, apparently you need that thing called friction, and I didn't have it, so I went off the track so fast. But I hopefully I will always remember that, because it was kind of funny. It's like, obviously I needed to slow down more and sooner, and give the tires a chance to at least do something. But it was so funny. Benny is a number of years younger than me. He's just shaking his head like, well, you're such an idiot. And I am. So that's it. That's all I'm going to do talking about me. So this weekend, Sonoma. Boom. Race number 8, race number 9. Also this weekend, sorry, Donald, I'm going to blow through your event real quick because, all October we were talking about Prairie City and how busy you were. But go to pckarting.com. That is their website. Prairie City has an event this weekend. It's their 4-stroke weekend. It has been hugely successful, the 4-stroke weekend. So much so, it has me looking at karts and getting my stuff back together to go out and go do some 4-stroke racing at my local track. They have a bunch of configurations. The fields are good. The racing action is good. It's 35 minutes from my house. So, yeah. But 4-stroke weekend. So Prairie City has their 4-stroke weekend. Go to their social media channels, meaning Instagram, Facebook, etc. Donald is going to make an announcement today whether the race is on or postponed. They don't race in the rain, so Prairie City will not race in the rain. They will make the announcement today. So when I say today is October 20th. It's a Wednesday. So please do yourself a favor. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram, like their channels, so that way when Donald makes the announcement, he's going to say it's either a race this weekend or it's canceled this weekend. So, that's this weekend, Prairie City. Also this weekend, CCKRA, Central California Kart Racing Association. So CCKRA.com. They are also a supporter of Norcal Karters. They're having their season finale, the championship event at Buttonwell. I don't know how that sounded just a second ago. I had like a gummy bear stuck in my throat or something. But at Buttonwillow, Central California Kart Racing Association, championship event at Buttonwillow. Their website to register, CCKRA. They race rain or shine. Rain or shine, CCKRA championship event. If you're not familiar with CCKRA, go to their website so you can see the classes they offer. Because they offer everything from Briggs to shifters. They're a regional series, but they cater to the club racer. So what I mean by that is they travel to 3 different tracks. They're very professionally run. They have a great group of people. In fact, Team Visalia, I've mentioned them many times on my podcast. That is their home series, is CCKRA. And I know a number of those shifter guys are getting ready to race rain or shine. So again, CCKRA is also this weekend at Buttonwillow, their season finale, and they race rain or shine. Buttonwillow is a cool track too. So, being that they're further south, their weather pattern is going to be a little bit different. So, keep an eye on that. But yeah, that's what we have going on this weekend. We have Prairie City Karting race number 8 for the 4-stroke weekend. Check their social channel to see if the race is a go or canceled or postponed. CCKRA wraps up their season this weekend. Sonoma wraps up their season this weekend, and we will be live streaming from Sonoma. And guess who's going to be at Rock Sonoma? GFC Karting, gfckarting.com. And then that will take us into the end of the month, October. Excuse me. I don't have anything on the calendar for October 30, 31st. So if I'm missing your event on the calendar, please let me know. The goal of Norcal Karters is to have all the events on the calendar that pertain to Northern California karters. And we're expanding that out. I just mentioned CCKRA. In the past, we've talked about Southern Oregon Karters and NKC, Northern Nevada Kart Club. They're a supporter of the podcast. And, so we're encompassing the areas that directly touch Northern California and surrounding areas. So, I don't have anything on the calendar for October 30th or 31st. So, if I'm missing your event, let me know. Reach out to me. So, if you ever reach out to me at the track, I do listen. I really, really do listen. But my memory and my attention at the track is all over the place. So it's always good to introduce yourself at the track. Say, hey, Jason, you forgot about our event. Or, hey, can you bring more attention to this event? And then also follow up with it with a text or an email that following Monday or Tuesday. Don't ever be shy to reach out to me, because there's so many times at the track, I'm just in a different headspace. So if I'm missing your events, let me know. The goal is to have all the events on norcalkarters.com. And that's Halloween weekend, too. So if there is no racing going on and you have little ones or kids or, it's a great time to go hang out with the family. And then we jump into November. Vortex Rock Cup USA will be in Las Vegas, November 3rd through the 7th. Guess who's going? GFC Karting. And that same weekend, November 6th and 7th, Prairie City, race number 6, the two-stroke weekend. And it looks like the limited 125 shifters of NorCal. That's Henry Damus and his group. Looks like they have it on their calendar to support that event. Let's see here. Henry Damus, man. 80 years old, running shifter karts. It's like, how can you not want to be that guy? I mean, he's just got such a fire in him, and it's let's see. I'm almost half his age, and I know for sure I have half his energy. But yeah, so Henry Damus and the limited 125 shifters of NorCal, they will be at Prairie City for that Prairie City race number 6 two-stroke weekend. And then we have November 14th, Blue Max Kart Club. And then November 21st, Karts and Coffee in Modesto. All of this information you can find at norcalkarters.com. And if you're ever listening live and you're listening through one of the apps and it has a chat feature, you can always chat away, send me a message. I'm fine with that. That's what the chat is set up for. So, yeah. I think that's how I'm going to wrap up. That's how I'm going to wrap up today's podcast. So, IKF Grand Nationals was last weekend. All the main events landed on norcalkarters.com in a podcast form. So, you can listen to that. If you're wondering why my voice changed between different classes, I did all the two-stroke classes and a couple of the four-stroke classes. And then Barry Barnwell, he did a lot of the four-stroke classes as well. And it was really interesting seeing Barry do the podcast, because he has a couple of kids that race. And in one of the, I think it was heat number 3. I don't think it was in the main event. I think it was heat number 3. One of his kids, Bowden, was basically taken out. Well, he wasn't taken out. He got caught up between 1 and 2, and I think it was in heat 3. He got caught up in an incident. He wasn't taken out or anything else, but he stopped to get out of the cart because another driver had flipped over. And so Bowden got out, and help that driver get back going. And I'm watching the video because someone happened to capture it on video and post it on Facebook. So here's Barnwell on the track, gets out of his cart to help somebody else get a cart off of top of him and make sure they were okay. That guy just runs and jumps back in the cart and takes off. And then there's Barnwell stuck in turn 2. It's like, okay, well, I guess I can get going now. So, I mean, that definitely hurt his track position. But I thought it was very interesting how Barry, he's doing the announcing. He's watching everything going on. His kid is now, he's going to start the main event somewhere in the back of the field. And then Barry just kept announcing. Like, if that was me, I would have been dropping F-bombs and everything else. So, maybe it's a good thing my daughter doesn't race. But the point of that is the podcast, we did all the main events. If you go on Norcal Karters, there's a couple of podcasts that just say test. That was Heat 3 for most of the classes. And that was just our test to make sure we were actually syncing up. But I decided I was just going to leave them up because Barry did most of that announcing because I was running back and forth between the computers and stuff and doing sound checks. But there's a lot of racing action going on in those Heat 3s. So those are up as well, but they say test on the podcast. So that's it. Everybody have a great week. A lot of racing action. Go to norcalkarters.com. And thank you to everyone who's liked my page, shared the podcast, sent a contribution, sponsored the website. Thank you. I mean, it's much appreciated, and we are working on some other stuff for 2022. I know 2021 isn't over yet, but I try to add a couple new things every year. So with that being said, everybody have a great remainder week, and hopefully I see you guys out at Sonoma this weekend. If not, go out to CCKRA down at Buttonwillow, or go to Prairie City Karting if they are holding their event, or I'll see you at a local track. Actually, I'd rather see you at a local track if I'm driving, because then I can say, oh yeah, I drive too. So that's it. Have a great week. Peace out.